Hansel and Gretel, a fairy tale retold. Hansel and Gretel lived in a small cabin in the woods with their father and stepmother. Life was not easy. Their father was just a woodcutter with meager earnings. When a famine hit their land, they had less and less to eat. One night, the stepmother told the children's father, "Take the children deep into the woods, then leave them there to fend for themselves." At first, the father resisted the idea. Later, he got tired of his wife's nagging and agreed. But the grown-ups were not aware that the children heard them. That night, after the grown-ups went to bed, Hansel went out to collect shiny white pebbles. After a while, he snuck back and assured Gretel, "Don't worry, sister, we will not get lost." The next day, the stepmother gave Hansel and Gretel some bread. Then their father led them into the woods. Once they were already quite far from home, their father left Hansel and Gretel in the dark forest. "Hansel, what are we going to do?" "Don't worry, sister. I left a trail of white pebbles. They will lead us back home." When twilight came, the shiny pebbles glistened like pearls on the ground. Hansel and Gretel followed the small stones until they finally saw their small cottage again. Their father was relieved to see that Hansel and Gretel were able to make it back home. However, their stepmother was not happy at all. They had almost nothing to eat, and having the children was an added burden. She angrily whispered to her husband, "Take them back into the forest tomorrow." Later that night, Hansel once again tried to collect some pebbles, but their stepmother had locked the door, and he couldn't go out. The following day, their stepmother gave Hansel and Gretel some bread. This time, their rations were smaller than the day before. Their father led them into the woods. They went deeper into the forest, where paths were more and more difficult to see. When darkness came, their father suddenly left. "Brother, were you able to leave a trail?" "Yes, I used the bread." The two children searched for the breadcrumbs, but they couldn't find any. "Oh no! Maybe some birds or wild animals ate them." Hansel and Gretel walked and walked until they found the most amazing house. It was made from gingerbread, cake, and candies. Their stomachs grumbled in hunger. Hansel couldn't stop himself from taking a bite of candy cane decor, while Gretel hummed with pleasure after tasting a small piece of giant cake. Hansel and Gretel were stuffing themselves with sweets when a small raspy voice said, "Children, come! There's more to eat inside." The children gladly went with the old woman inside the uniquely delicious gingerbread house. However, when they got inside, the old woman transformed into a witch. She pushed Hansel into a cage and laughed wickedly. "Here, eat more sweets." The siblings quickly realized that the witch was trying to fatten up Hansel. As for Gretel, the old witch ordered her to do chores and only gave her crumbs to eat. The next day, the witch, who couldn't see clearly, said in a voice dripping with evil delight, "Let me feel one of your fingers. I want to check how plump you are." Hansel, who was quite smart, took a thin bone from the cage floor and allowed the almost blind witch to feel it. "Still too thin," the witch clucked with disappointment as she shoved more sweets into the cage for Hansel to eat. Days went by, and by the 4th week, the old hag couldn't wait any longer. Because she found Hansel too thin, the witch had decided to eat Gretel too. So she lit the giant oven in the kitchen and ordered Gretel to put wood into the fire. Gretel sensed the witch's evil plan, so she pretended to be confused. Frustrated, the witch leaned into the oven to demonstrate. Gretel knew that this was her only chance. Using all her strength, Gretel pushed the witch into the giant oven and locked it. "Ah!" The witch screamed as Gretel hurriedly freed Hansel. Before they left the gingerbread house, Hansel and Gretel found treasure chests filled with precious stones and lustrous pearls. They filled their bags and pockets with gems and went to find their way home. While walking by a lake, they found a big, beautiful swan. "Come, children, let me take you home." Hansel and Gretel climbed onto the swan's back, and it ferried them to the other side of the lake. From there, it was easy for the siblings to find their tiny cottage. Their father rejoiced at their return. He expressed his great regret for leaving them in the forest and asked for his children's forgiveness. He also told them that their stepmother was gone. Hansel and Gretel were relieved. They forgave their father and lived a better life using the treasures that they found. The end.